Many buyers worry about rising interest rates, especially now when the Fed is increasing their interest rates. Should you wait and time your property purchase based on interest rate movements? Is there an interest rate sweet spot to buy a property? Continue watching to find out more. Hi everyone, I'm Khai from Propedia. This channel is created to share in-depth research for projects across Singapore. Interest rate movement affects monthly installment payments, so there is a real impact to property buyers. Therefore, it is important to understand whether this can affect property prices. In this chart, the blue line is the property price index. The green line is the 3-month SIBOR interest rate. Let's zoom into the period between 2005 and 2007. The interest rate was rising steeply, but property price still increased significantly by a whopping 49%. In 2018 and 2019, property price too increased with interest rates. From this chart, we can see that there is no direct correlation between interest rate movement and property price. Now, let's look at this chart that shows the recent 6 periods where interest rate increased and what happened to property prices. Over these 6 periods where interest rate increased from a low and peaked, property price increased in all the periods except during the 1996 and 1997 Asian financial crisis. There's therefore no consistent data to show that interest rate increase will cause property price to drop. And most importantly, many people actually do not realize that Singapore has a low interest rate environment. Let's look at some extracts from a MAS media release. We use exchange rate to promote price stability, meaning we use exchange rate to manage inflation, instead of using interest rate like in the US. And domestic interest rate has typically been below US interest rates. At the time of recording, US mortgage rate is already above 5%, but Singapore is still at around 1.5%. Therefore, it is likely that interest rate will be much lower than that seen in the US. Let's look at how interest rate increase can affect a $1 million property with a loan of $750,000. At 1.5% interest, per installment is $2,588, and at 2.5% interest, installment is $2,963, an increase of about $300. Can I say that we can easily save this by going for less coffee sessions at fancy restaurants? We are not saying the interest rate will go to 3.5%, but at this interest rate, the installment will be $3,368. This is more hefty. However, 3.5% is the guideline for affordability by MAS based on the total debt servicing ratio framework. So can we trust the government that at 3.5%, the interest rate is still pretty safe? With successful rounds of property cooling measures, the bulk of demand is coming from families for own use. For example, new family members, children growing up and needing more space, move near schools or near parents. These people need to buy a house, and when it's a family need, most of us will make it happen. It's an inelastic demand. These people are going to buy a property even with a higher but affordable interest rate. The overall economy is important, but it is not the main driver of property demand in the current environment. And this is evident at the peak of the COVID pandemic in 2020 and 2021, where property price still increased significantly, and many people are saying the price is crazy. So what should we do? Rising interest rate is not an indicator of a property price drop. As long as you stress test your ability to pay mortgage at a higher interest rate, your risk is really very low. Don't let the fluff around distract you. The more important factor to consider is that there is no oversupply. There's continued supply for the type of property you are buying. For example, at this time of uncertainty, be it increasing interest rate or war, if you do not know what to buy, avoid properties where the bulk of buyers are investors, and buy properties where people will buy for own stay, as this is an inelastic demand, and your risk will be very low. Do understand why the Fed is increasing interest rates. It is because of inflation, and inflation devalues any cash we are holding. Property is a very safe hedge against inflation, especially in Singapore, where the government ensures property price increase is based on fundamentals instead of speculation. The property market is very dynamic, and there are many other factors to consider when picking properties with good potential and low risk. You can find out more about this in my other videos, or you can get in touch and we can discuss over coffee. Once again, I'm Khai. See you in the next video.